Friday already.
Friday, thank God.
This week flew by.
All right.
Here we go.
Next
We're
week's
live.
Labor Day. What's up, guys? John here. Titan Lifestyle with Big Drew.
What's up, guys? It's Titan Lifestyle. I'm Big Drew with my brother from another mother.
That's my man.
John.
That's right.
It's great to be back in the studio. It seems like it was like 2 days ago.
I know.
Talking about stuff. But we got good topics, guys. Actually, our topics are kind of continued from last week, too.
Yeah.
A couple of them. So if you guys were listening last week, we're following up on one of those crazy topics, too.
Yeah, we love to do the follows for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to bring up something, we like to follow it ourselves. Obviously, it's interesting to some sort if we brought it up to you guys originally. So,
or if we make a mistake, we like to correct it, too.
For sure.
So, yeah.
For sure. That's a good
I made a
point,
judgment mistake, but we'll get into that later.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So let's go. Thank you guys for joining us for Titan Lifestyle Big Drew on all platforms. If you guys are on these platforms, please like this, share this, right? Tag people you think would be interested in these things because we try to bring you the best every week. So just be entertained, learn some different things about Titan, and enjoy, guys. So let's talk about the first thing. Let's get through the therapy of the week, right? So therapy of the week this week is something that I think that affects a lot of different people out there because a lot of different people have problems sleeping. This is younger people, middle-aged people, older people. All right? Had right?
problems. Yeah.
And, you know, you're going through all these different problems, you know, in everyday life, and you know what? You need your sleep. You need your sleep if you're working out. You need your sleep if you're not working out, right? Just to be on point the next day. Mental clarity-wise, physically, your body recharges, repairs itself, and revitalizes itself in sleep. And there's different parts of sleep. There's actually 5 stages of sleep, and you guys can look them up because I want you guys to be educated about these things and know what to look for. So at that point, you want to get in the deepest sleep possible. The deepest sleep is when you really get that recharge and repair. And dream states and stuff like that are another good part of it. Hopefully they're good dreams and not bad dreams. But let's get to it. Delta sleep Delta sleep inducing peptide, And that is DSIP, all right, and Delta. So let's talk about Delta, Drew. So Delta is the waves in the brain at stage 3, right? And hopefully get you into these deeper sleep slumbers. Something that's going to really help you guys out. So the delta waves, it increases delta waves in the brain. Now it's pretty funny on some of the research on DSIP because there's 2 types of sleepers out there. There's ones that can't go to sleep. Wheels just keep turning, right? You know, when you're worried about something the next day especially, it might not be everyday things.
Or staying asleep is one of the most important.
That's the second person.
Yeah.
You know, the people that go to sleep but then get up at 3 a.m., right? Stay up for a couple hours, go back to sleep, and then you're waking up really groggy.
Yeah, it's like
it
naps.
Sucks.
I was doing that for a while where I would just nap. Like I wouldn't sleep longer than 4 hours.
Yep.
But I would sleep like probably, 2 or 3 times throughout the day for 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
Which much better to get that deep 8 hours,
sure.
8 straight is like the best ever.
Absolutely.
But, especially nowadays with the cell phones. As soon as people wake up, they look at their cell phone. You may just look at it and check the time, but next you're checking emails, you're checking messages, you're random searching.
Yep.
So with the distractions we have now, it's not like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The only distraction you have when you wake up is if you turn the TV on or if you fall asleep with the TV on.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, wait, someone might be texting me. Everyone's always afraid they're going to miss something.
You're getting anxious about your cell phone, guys. It's
yeah.
really crazy, right?
Yeah.
You get anxiety about
like,
your
cell phone. As soon as you wake
phone.
up, you're like, I don't care where my wallet or keys are at. Phone. Let me get my phone first.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, another thing is it's scientifically proven when you start looking at these different things like TV, your phones, it induces and increases stimuli in your brain. That means it gets it going again. And that's something you don't want, right?
It becomes repetitive where you're not even realizing.
Don't be addicted to the phone. Give yourself the time to at least sleep. If anybody's contacted you at 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe, have your phone on, I guess, for a ring, but like if they're reaching out to you, I guess that's one thing, but otherwise you're going to be getting hit with email dings, notification dings. Like turn those all off and maybe just hook up just your cellular function and text function just in case.
Or a lot of times people don't realize too. They're like, oh well, I've heard numerous people say this. Oh, I want to keep my phone on in case there's an emergency. You could easily, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you have a cheap phone from the gas station. You could set it up where there's only emergency people can come through.
Absolutely.
So if you have like 5 close friends or family members or daughter, son, whatever.
Absolutely.
You could put those people on your 5s and then block everybody else so you could actually sleep.
Yeah.
You can do that too. But there's always ways to get better sleep. DSIP is a great way to help it. You don't have to worry about that too.
Yeah.
It's about staying asleep. Because I could fall asleep easy. but I'm up in an hour or two. So
Absolutely.
it's about staying asleep. It's very important.
Absolutely. So everybody, shout out to everybody that's joined us, Instagram, Facebook. How you guys doing? And some of the guys that join us week in and week out. What's up, Christian? Strength Addicts, Hulk Squad's in the house, and actually, you know, Hulk Squad is one of our dudes that has taken DSIP on here that probably knows better than anybody on how his sleep patterns were, and they were all off. And obviously, that's going to affect different things, you know, especially if you're working out hard.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, you know, you don't recover in muscle and all repair yourself during the day as you're going through your day.
Yeah. We got Lady Hawk on here saying that she does the same thing. She sleeps about 2.5 hours in increments.
Yeah.
So it's not just the big bodybuilder guys that's, you know, big that have trouble sleeping. Everyone has trouble sleeping.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Yeah, it's very important. I don't know. It seems like sleep is getting less and less looked at as being important.
Yeah.
They have all these sleep aid and medications, but no one's actually practicing it. You know, like it doesn't matter what you're doing at work, school, whatever. If you're not sleeping, it's like it's only a matter of time. So
yeah. Sam Sklar, we're going to get to your question real here. 1 second, okay? Have you guys ever heard of NAD infusion therapy? Yeah, no problem. We're going to cover that. But back to Drew's point, listen, there's a lot of different people out there that are dealing with this. Even kids, right, nowadays. And this could be caused by a lot of different other things. Now, at that point, you know, we're starting to rely on different things. And there's a lot of different blends out there you'll see over the counter. Some have L-theanine in it, which are really good. L-theanine is a good, I don't know about the oral source, but as far as the amino acid goes, it brings down anxiety. So at that point, it will actually relax you before you go to bed. Now, the other one that I want to get to that I would really worry about to a certain degree is melatonin. So melatonin's in a lot of different over-the-counter supplementations, right?
Yeah.
But what is melatonin? And a lot of people really don't know, like, that melatonin is melatonin, right? Well, melatonin is actually a hormone in the body, okay? So at that point, you're starting to mess with your hormones to a certain extent. And when you take melatonin too much, it'll actually desensitize the body as far as if you stop melatonin, you know, and you want to go to sleep naturally, it's not going to happen. You're really going to have to start relying on this. Yeah. And that's not a good thing, you know? You want to make sure, especially kids, when people are starting to feed melatonin to kids, you're setting them up for failure right away instead of getting to the root of the issue and really correcting that for them to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's never really worked for me, melatonin, even when I tried it in high doses. I mean, if it's combined with something else, it does, but by itself, I've never noticed melatonin by itself. Yeah. It's weird, though, but if it's with something else, it's like 3 or 4 different things, maybe a little bit, but melatonin's never really, but that's like the standard. Yeah. Like tryptophan and melatonin, they put it in every sleep. They put it in every sleep aid. It's like, okay, you know. But
tryptophan's that's interesting because tryptophan is an amino acid, right? So that's something that you can take in daily. Your body's going to need.
Yeah, I would prefer tryptophan.
You know, tryptophan. I mean, the other ones are like GABA, L-theanine. You know, those are great ones. And honestly, if you put GABA and L-theanine together, you're probably going to get a great result just from that. Not involving the melatonin. I think, like I said, melatonin when you start using it a lot. Maybe one thing if you use it once or twice, I guess. If you really need it, but. I'm telling you, starting to mess with melatonin, it's kind of like messing with testosterone to a certain extent, or any other hormone. When you start substituting that hormone in the body, your body's going to adapt to that, shut down the function of what it's naturally doing. If it was doing anything, now if your body's not doing anything and you're supplementing that, then that's one thing, right?
But that'd be a medical thing. That'd be almost like if your brain's not giving it that melatonin release.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone has that. You know, if it gets dark. And your brain releases that melatonin. People don't realize like that's the reason why you get tired. Yeah. If it's overcast and things like that, because your brain's signaling that melatonin. People don't realize that you can get that way naturally. So to take it,
that's how it's
like it's almost like you're messing up the natural state of it all the time.
Yes.
Like if you guys driving home from work and it gets gloomy and gray and you get tired, that's your melatonin kicking in.
That's the melatonin kicking in. It's really crazy. Your body was made like this. Like God already said, or whoever their creator was. Already said that our biological function and clocks up because when the sun goes up, that's when you're supposed to be getting up in the morning, doing work all day long. And then when it gets dark, that's when you go home, you eat, and go to sleep, and you get ready for the next day.
I know for me, like in terms of, because I get up early, I work out early, like I do a lot early in the day. Like it seems like the older I get, the earlier I'll wake up. Yeah. But one thing I realized, I got a new shower cart. I got a new shower rod in my room. Yeah. And I took the old one off when I ordered the new one. Yeah. The new one took a while to come in. Yeah. So I'm not used to sleeping without any curtains. So now it's so now not having any curtains. Yeah. Like now I have the new shower curtain. I mean the new curtain. Yeah. It's sitting on the side in the box. Still haven't put it up yet because it's like I'm too lazy to put it up in the first place. But second of all, it's like I'm getting used to that schedule. Yeah. It's so nice. Now my schedule is like if it gets dark, I start getting a little sleepy. Yeah. And if it gets in the morning time, I'm up usually before the sun comes anyways. But it's like I'm like training my body to give it that natural, kind of like animals do. Like
That's
if
cool.
the sun comes up, but
that's
it's
a
just
biological clock, man.
But it's like you could actually train yourself to like do that. Because I used to have to be blacked out curtains.
Yeah.
No TV on. Like,
Obviously, they say the darker the area, the better you're going to sleep because your body is obviously recognizing it. So that's pretty cool.
Or sometimes I'll just even literally like put a pillow like over, not over my face, but like covering the sun from coming in.
Yeah. So Sam's Club, we're going to do that in 1 second. Let me just follow up with this DSIP. So DSIP, guys, is a peptide that we're offering, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. It's for patients that want to either go to sleep or they want to stay asleep. And there's a lot of people out there that are doing this. And at that point, it's really, really a good therapy for you guys. It's a better substitute than taking Ambien or other things out there. And it should help your eyes out. I mean, we've got a lot of good, positive reception to this sleep-inducing peptide. It's helped a number of different patients in a lot of different ways and circumstances. So this could be a good one for you guys. So if you guys want to get DSIP, it's real simple and easy. All you guys got to do is fill out the new patient paperwork. You're going to see our medical provider, FaceTime or Skype if you're out of the state. And at that point, we're going to have the pharmacy shipped directly to you guys. Okay? So it's real simple and easy. DSIP. Call or text 727-389-3220. All right, so let's get into, let me cover NAD and then we're going to get into this Sha'Carri. This is going to be interesting for you guys. All right, so Sam's Club, NAD therapy. So NAD therapy. Now listen, Titan Medical Center, I think we've been cutting edge and way above, way beyond some of these guys that are out there right now. So let me discuss this. NAD therapy we've been doing for about 8 years, okay? And it's evolved in different doses and different blends that we've had out there. But now NAD is becoming a big thing. Now there's over-the-counter NAD that you guys can get in capsule form and stuff like that with nanotechnology, I think as some of them are saying. And at that point, it's still not going to get the best absorption rate. But NAD is great for the body. It's in every living cell of the body. It can do a number of different things, from natural energy and stimulation to anti-aging properties, to cellular rejuvenation. So at that point, actually repairing cells. That's really, really cool. It's going to help out with, possible people that are going through drug withdrawals and stuff like that too. That it does help in that manner. Alzheimer's dementia patients are taking it right now with great success to a certain degree. Not every situation is the exact same, but for an everyday person, it's going to help in a lot of different ways. So you can do this in 2 different ways. 3, obviously. You can always do oral, which I guess is okay, but I don't think it's got the bang for the buck, and you're obviously going to break down more of these things going through the gastro tract and breaking down in the intestines. So at that point, they're going to look at 2 different other ways to have NAD therapy. 1, you're going to be able to get an IV form. Great. It's going to go right into your bloodstream directly. It's going to take usually, now depending on the dose, what the pharmacies recommend and different protocols out there, it's going to be between 1 hour and 2 hours for 500 milligrams. Usually something like that's going to cost you, I've seen out there, anywhere from $1,000 to $500, right? And make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. We do it for $275 for infusions, excuse me. Now the other form is injectable.
Best way.
To me, I think is definitely the best way. The reason is you can get a really custom dose, right? And you're getting it within like a minute or 2. You're literally drawing from the vial, self-injecting with a little insulin needle. So we're not talking about like a 23 gauge harpoon type needle, but little insulin needle. So it's virtually painless, and you get the effects within 15 minutes.
And you're getting literally every penny's worth.
Yes.
That's my biggest thing taking orals is I feel like, okay, like if I have to pee, I don't want to pee because I'm going to lose a little bit of it. It's like, I'll take, a lot of times people take their orals before they go to bed, so that way they're not excreting them.
Yep.
But if you don't want to get every last milligram or microgram or whatever the measurement is, injectables are the best.
Injectables definitely the best way.
Definitely the best way to go. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose. I sweat so heavy. If I take a tablet, the next thing I'm sweating, I'm like, I'm looking at these milligrams. I'm looking at, depending on how much you guys spend on this stuff, you might as well get your money's worth for it. So
for sure. So
every last milligram.
The good thing about the IM way is that when you're doing intermuscular injections, you can customize a dose of the 500 milligram vial, right? With the infusion, you're going to talk about doing the 500 milligrams right then and there. Now, that's going to be very beneficial but it's going to stay in the system, let's say, about 48 hours. And then you're going to excrete this out of your body one way or the other, or you're going to absorb as much as you possibly can, okay? The only other benefit you're going to get with an infusion is that you're going to get hydration because of the bag. But at that point, you're going to have to give 1 to 2 hours of your day to do this. Now, if you're hydrating properly, like you should be, or you're overhydrating a little bit, you're going to be fine there, and then you're going to be able to do the injection by yourself at a custom dose, and you can do it more often through the month. And it's going to save you guys a lot of money. It's going to be a better bang for the buck, and you can utilize it when you really want to. So there's a number of different ways you guys can have it. So that's NAD therapy explained totally for you guys. You don't need any blood work for this. All you have to do is fill out the new patient paperwork, see our medical provider. And if you guys aren't in the state, you guys can do it via telemedicine, via FaceTime or Skype. Okay, make it really simple and easy. At that point, you can order NAD therapy, or you can order Hercules Potion, or all these other ones, except for hormone replacement therapy, IGF-1 therapy, and such.
And once you're locked in, guys, once you do your new patient paperwork, once you're in the system, if there's anything we have that doesn't require new patient paperwork, you're already in there.
Yeah, you're
So
done.
you could just add it to your order. Next time you order, you're already in there. You basically just go on and order everything.
Yeah.
We're just getting you initially set up in the system.
Absolutely.
But again, for HRT, you're going to need blood work for that. But this, you don't. A lot of our stuff, you don't.
Absolutely.
Go to my bio, click the link. Everything's in there. You can check out the new patient paperwork. If you need me to send a link to you for some reason, if you can't figure it out, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link. I can do that too.
So what up, Kim? How you doing? I appreciate you. Shout out there. What's going on? So let's talk about the next question on here. It's a pretty good one, I guess. Thinking of adding Nandrolone to my TRT. Any thoughts? So Farrell Cliffs 2020 is talking about adding this other medication to his therapy. Now, with that, listen, Nandrolone can be beneficial in some instances. It really depends on what you're utilizing it for and what your medical condition
That's
is.
the most important thing. I always hear Nandrolone. What are you using it for?
Right.
And it's always the most opposite thing.
Dude.
Not always, but I mean, for the most part, it's like, look, if that's what you're using it for, like, you don't need it.
That's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. It might do more harm.
Usually BPC 157 can correct the problem that people use Nandrolone for if it's if it's an issue, a pain issue, or whatever.
That's what I'm
rather
saying.
than lube it up and wait for it to and have to keep lubricating the joint.
Yeah.
BPC fixes it. So rather than a lot of places they just give Nandrolone as a pain reliever.
Yep.
I don't believe in that.
It's a masker.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
right.
a masker. It just
It really is.
if you have serious damage on your elbow or whatever it is, if you're just lubricating and masking it, you don't hear the crunching and grinding.
Right.
So once that lubrication, that water goes away, then it's like, oh, what's going on? And then what happens? And they take more and more. Then now you're hooked.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're screwed. Like,
and you're doing a lot more damage to the body. A lot more good than bad per se, right? And a lot of people want to get it for joint issues.
it's like the main thing.
So, like me and Drew said, it's a masker. Now, we'll bring liquid to those areas, and at that point, it might feel a lot better for a little bit. But at that point, you're pushing yourself probably because it's an unreal feeling, I guess. Like, you don't really know. It's a false feeling that everything's okay, and then you're pushing through, and you might be doing more damage. This is a fact. And then afterwards, when you stop using Nandrolone, it's going to feel probably 10 times worse.
And the thing with that too is it's not something that happens overnight. So if you're pushing, you don't feel something.
Right.
It's not like 2 days later you're gonna feel it.
Absolutely.
It's like you're slowly grinding more and more and more, and then it's not like one day the water or the fluid is just gonna be out of your joint if you stop the medication.
Yep.
Especially with Nandrolone, the half-life on Nandrolone is long. Like Nandrolone stays in your system long. There's been studies of high school football players. There was a high school football player that had an injury. His doctor prescribed him Nandrolone to try to recover.
Yeah.
The mom didn't even ask what it was. Okay, we're going to give him Nandrolone. Next thing you know, next year he's going to go. He was supposed to go to Alabama and play football. They found Nandrolone in the system.
No.
NCAA was like, no.
Oh, no.
And it was like 10 months before that he got the shot.
Oh, man.
So Nandrolone can be floating around depending on where it's injected. This can float around for a long time.
Oh, no, for sure.
And this kid, every year counts when you're in college, high school. So it was like he didn't even know he was taking. He just went to the doctor and like, this is going to help with pain. Okay.
Wow.
And then, so it can linger, guys, too. Nandrolone can linger. If you have to pass a drug test or whatever the case may be, if your prolactin goes high, Nandrolone will raise your prolactin. If it goes high and you need to get it out of your system, you can't just, I'm going to not take an injection this week and be good.
Yeah.
Even if after your last injection, it might be 10, 12 weeks. It's floating around in there.
For sure. No, you're right on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you for buying a badge. I appreciate all you guys supporting us with the badges out there. Thank you guys. Kim, I'm sending you a free pair of leggings. Just text a line for being one of these people out there. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support all the time. So Nandrolone, for sure, at that point, like, it could do more good than bad,
Yeah.
right? Especially in that case, man, that's horrible for this guy.
Yeah,
college
you can
career,
Google it.
like,
You can read it up on. I mean,
that's nuts.
high school kid, 17 years old, didn't know what was happening.
But raising prolactin, that's another one. At that point, you don't want to raise prolactin in the body. That could be very negative as far as health wise.
Or as far as relationship wise.
Yeah, so you're talking about not being able to get an erection or going up and then it goes right down. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So you initially get the erection and you just can't stay up. That's another one. That
Strike
happens.
out.
Yeah.
And you got to come up with excuses.
Yeah, they call it Deca bleep this art dick.
Yeah.
Okay. So so
Deca D.
Deca D. So, yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. So at that point, and then guys think, well, I can take testosterone. Usually it's a 1-to-1 ratio on something like that. But I'm telling you guys, if you take massive amounts of this stuff, it's not good. And if some prescriber out there is just saying, all right, take massive amounts of the stuff, that's not good. So just use it at what it should be used for. If not, there's a lot better things out there like BPC or TB500 to really try to heal it instead of masking the pain. Right?
Don't take NyQuil if you have to fall asleep. Take an ingredient that's going to help you fall asleep.
Yes.
Not, like we say, week and week again. If it's extra stuff in there you don't need.
Absolutely.
You don't need to take it.
Absolutely, guys. Better ways to get big too. That's another people. I want to take natural because I want to get big. Like,
If you want to get big, MK677 is definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, that's good you brought that up because always people say, what can I take that's going to get me big?
It's big.
Kind of like
That's always my
kind of like
go-to.
an illegal steroid, but safe and this and that.
Yeah.
Hey, MK677 is the closest thing to.
It's a peptide. I mean, that thing's close to
No side
growth.
effects except for maybe eat and sleep, which is good because you need that to
course.
grow.
Of
If
course.
any bodybuilder or any site you read, you need to eat and sleep to grow. So first off, people are like, it makes me tired. You need to sleep to grow. You need to eat to grow.
Absolutely.
So MK677 is definitely going to put the weight on you. It's definitely actually going to lubricate the joints a little bit too. Not so much as Deca, which is nandrolone. But again, guys, too, if you want to put fluid in your body, drink water.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy. I hear people, I'm a culprit. I don't really drink that much water. But if you want to fill your body up with water and just literally just chug gallons all day long, like the way he does it, you're putting fluid in your body, why not? And then it's helping everything else, too. So, yeah, MK is definitely kind of like a nandrolone or kind of like a D-ball anadrol if you want to go that route. But without the estrogen, without the aggression, without the oily skin, without the ED, without all the other stuff. Just basically eat and sleep.
I mean, it's an oral GHRH, so it's a growth hormone releasing peptide, right? Growth hormone releasing hormone peptide. And at that point, it's going to do just that. It's going to be better as far as for your body. It's going to give you a lot better benefits than anything else out there that we've talked about.
It's about that time of year to start back. I'm excited. I'm looking at these pictures. Art's got up there. That was when I was on that MK.
Yeah.
About 10, 15 pounds bigger. I might have to.
Yeah.
Olympia's coming up. I might need to show up big.
I might start one. I don't know. You never know. You never know.
Hey,
I might start it with you. We got enough
Hey,
time
we can
right
do
here.
it. As long as you eat clean, it's good. It's all good games.
We're all about eating clean, so I'm not worried about that at all.
Except for
Sky Clements,
except
what's
for the
going
Haagen-Dazs.
on? Big shout out.
This guy says he's
athletic
clean.
gear out there, looking good, girl. So everybody, thank you guys for joining us. We just talked about DSIP, and then we had a question about nandrolone adding this to TRT. It's a really good common question out there, so I'm glad we covered that too as well. Better than CJC 1295. All right, so everybody asked me that. Which one would you recommend for a GHRH? Now, 2 GHRHs. One's injectable, one's oral. Right? MK ibutamoren is oral, and then you have the injectable CJC 1295 with imperalin. So you're getting 2 awesome peptides that are mixed with that injectable. Now the difference is this: is that you don't really get as much stimulation of the hunger hormone, ghrelin hormone, with the injectable, and imperalin and CJC 1295. With MK, you're going to get that increased hunger like you wouldn't believe, right? It's going to come on, you're going to want to eat.
One thing I noticed too is never really talked about is a sense of well-being I got in MK.
Oh yeah.
It's like I just had a sense of I just felt like I was the man. I just felt good. Like a lot of times you take stuff to make you look good, but you feel like crap.
Yeah.
It just gave me I don't know, maybe it was because I was eating so much, and when you eat, you're in a better mood.
Yeah.
But it just gave me a kind of a sense of well-being. A lot of times people don't talk about the way their body feels taking stuff. They just talk about the performance or the cosmetics. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff you take make you feel like crap, but you look great.
Yeah.
So this is a situation where it's going to. I actually feel like a sense of well-being when I take it.
Yeah, MK's a really good one, and you guys don't need blood work for that. Now, I would definitely get blood work anyway, guys, just to be on the safe side and know where everything's at. it's good to monitor some different things too, like when you're on this. But going back to CJC 1295 and Imprelin, the difference is you're going to get more hunger from, I would say, MK677 than the CJC blend. The other difference is that with that MK, you're going to have to drink water and eat clean. If not, you're going to gain some water weight. And that on the CJC 1295 and Imprelin, you really won't get. So that's the difference of them. Now, as far as stimulating IGF-1 levels, that's the next thing. Now, you're going to increase your natural growth hormone with the CJC 1295 and Imprelin. It's going to increase the pulse rate. And at that point, you're going to get some stimulation there. Now, with MK, as far as an oral, the studies are awesome. And the real-life application through people is the other teller. So you always have that baseline IGF-1 level, and then you look at where they go. Well, if they're above range a little bit in that level, and they were in normal range before, like halfway, you're going to see, like, man, this is going to be a good option for somebody. So it just depends what you're looking to do and what's going on, right? So I always say a bikini model that's going to do a fashion shoot 2 or 3 weeks from now probably doesn't want to get an MK677.
Oh, no.
Okay? That's with the CJC 1295. You can do it constantly, right, over long periods of time. MK, I would say 90 days, give yourself a rest after that. And then you can go back on here in a couple months. But at that point, that's really where you guys want to go with MK. Usually that's how it's prescribed here. So at that point, just choose what you're doing, and that will really, I guess, put you down the path that you need to go. All right, so let's get into this other one. Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm not done.
The drama continues. If you guys don't know what's going on, Sha'Carri Richardson, from the USA, went to track at LSU, broke the NCAA record, dominated all NCAA events, was the fastest runner, not only in college, but in pro, in the world.
Yeah.
Before the Olympics happened, she tested positive for marijuana. She said she was trying to cope with the loss of a family member.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, she couldn't run, had this huge following. Oh, we feel bad for Sha'Carri, let's let her run.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She had some momentum.
Yeah, she had all this stuff. And she's very charismatic. She's not just like a laid back, humble person. She talks a lot. She says, "I'm the one you're gonna see."
Oh yeah.
Cusses on live TV.
Yeah.
I don't know how she gets away with it, but
man.
Yeah, so she's been real colorful. Make a long story short, she couldn't run the Olympics because she smoked weed, and she come back. This is her race. She's going against the top 3 Jamaicans, the gold medalists, the silver medalists, the bronze medalists, all 3 of them. This is her chance, even though she couldn't run the Olympics because of whatever happened. This is her chance to show I could prove that not only is she the best in the world, but she can run with them.
This is the case for that.
Oh man! Before the race starts, to start lineup, she's throwing up these little signs, like you can see on TV. Trying to play her whole little I'm the woman. My swag is on Mars. She got dusted.
Yeah.
Dusted.
Oh, no. Wow. Squad, I'll answer your question in a second.
Very last place. If you guys aren't familiar with track and field, they always put the fastest times in the middle of the track. So it's kind of like a diamond. I've never seen someone in the center lane get last place before.
Oh my
Usually,
God.
if you're in the center lane, you have the fastest times. They put the fastest people in the middle lane, so it's kind of like a diamond like this. Whoa. I've never seen the person that's supposed to have the fastest time in the back. She literally got. I mean, pun intended, she got smoked.
Yeah.
Smoked by the Jamaicans. Yeah. Literally, pun intended, she got smoked. And not only that, it's like, okay, I don't know her as an athlete. I mean, I only know her as an athlete. I don't know her as a person.
Yeah.
I kind of liked her little swagger. I kind of liked the way she was talking junk.
Yeah.
But after this, canceled for me.
Dude. We became cocky and confident now.
Not only did she not win the race, she got very last place. As soon as she stepped off the track, she was still out of breath. They pulled her over during the interview. She was just like, it doesn't matter. I'm still that girl. I know people are going to be talking S, and she's swearing on national TV. I saw it live before they muted it out. So not only did she lose the race, she threw a fit, started cussing, saying, I'm still going to be whatever. And then she didn't even show up to run the 200. She was supposed to run the 200 too.
That's horrible.
200's half a lap. 100's like, the straightaway to football field.
Yeah.
And then she didn't even show up. So not only it's like you're a sore loser.
Paid for the Jamaicans.
I'm hearing people online saying that like, oh, what happened now that Sha'Carri doesn't win, no one doesn't like her anymore.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with whether you win or lose, it's how you take it.
Yeah.
how you
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, sportsmanship.
Yeah,
I mean,
class.
you're signed by Nike, the #1 sports place ever. You're wearing Nike on your shirt, and you're on national TV.
Yeah.
You just lost, and now you're cussing, making yourself look bad.
Yeah.
I'd be mad if I was Nike. I'd probably try to rip her sponsor, even though it sounds crazy. But she got a, and the thing is she's not really trying to have a public apology. It's like when people say it, she's like, yeah, and like she's one of those. So it's kind of like you can't tell her anything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She's talking bad about some of the former Olympians. Allyson Felix, she's competed in like 4 Olympics. She has like the record for most medals. She's talking about her. She's throwing shots at Jamaicans. It's just, I like the way the Jamaicans were. They just showed up. They didn't talk about anybody. They didn't even talk about themselves. They just showed up, dominated, and after they dominated, when they're asking the Jamaicans about Sha'Carri Richardson, they're just like, oh yeah, well I just, they're not even like, like, stop giving this girl attention. That's the way, okay, like it's almost like she threw a fit because she didn't get her way, and now we're still, I'm still talking about it.
Yeah.
But after this, canceled, like pretty much.
Dude.
If you run and win, I'll cheer you on because it's the U.S. and you're winning. But as a person, like your character kind of just
plummeted, right?
Yeah, sore loser.
Dude, actions speak louder than words anytime. You go up, you show up, you do it, and then you talk about it.
Yeah, if she would have showed up and won,
everyone
would have been like,
I told you guys should let me run, blah, blah, blah. And then you got people on your side, but like, when you show up and then you lose like that, right? And then you have bad sportsmanship on top of it, that shouldn't show like what a true champion does. I mean, we look back, I don't even talk about Michael Jordan because I love him, but I might be a little biased. But when he lost, right, even against Detroit and everything like that, he had enough respect and character to like hold his head down. But he walked off the court like a champion. I don't know. It's just a mindset, I guess. He didn't go on and start bashing other his competitors. Yeah. He said how good they were at that point. We just need to get better, and that's really what it is. So,
see, I think that if she would have lost, she did, but if she lost the race, I think she should have just came over and been like, congratulations to the Jamaicans. Today wasn't my day. It's going to take me time to get back into the swing of things.
Right.
But hopefully I'll get back on track, and this isn't the end of me. You'll see me come back stronger than ever. Like something small like that.
Have a humble,
be small. Just admit that it was your fault. Admit you're not ready yet. Give the people credit, and move on. Now it's like, the thing I don't like about it is like everywhere I go, Instagram, Facebook, it's all over the place. There's chicks everywhere, and she didn't even win.
She's lucky she even got to race.
That's good PR.
Like if you win, then you should be all over the place. But it's like she gets last place, throws a fit, and then now she's still all over the news.
It's just at that point any press is good press, I guess. For these
but
people,
as a sponsor, you sponsored her.
Well, yeah, the sponsor she's probably selling a lot more because
that's
the good and bad, right?
See, that's the thing. It's like negative attention is it's attention.
That's crazy.
So it's kind of like
crazy.
Everywhere I look, I'm seeing her wearing the Nike tracksuit.
Yeah.
So even though it's bad, it's Nike's out there.
So Alien Barb. So what we talked about for deep sleep was DSIP, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. We went really in depth in it. So we will repost this video later on today, so you guys can really get to watch it again if you want to, and you're just tuning in and missing some of these different things. But we're really Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide increases delta waves in the brain. It's going to help you sleep longer, and it's going to help you get to sleep. So that's how it works. It's an injectable that's going to be injected sub-Q with a little insulin needle. You don't need the blood work for it. If you guys want it or interested in it, want to know about more, 727-389-3220. The girls would be happy to explain it to you, go over everything with you, and get you set up as a patient anywhere in the country except for Ohio and Idaho. All right? DJ Joe, backwards diamond, Jamaicans, they were throwing
literally
shade
baked by the Jamaicans.
They were baked.
But it says Roger Hayes saying the Jamaicans were throwing shade while they walked past. A lot of times, I've seen that all the time. Like, it's all over when Shelly Ann Frazier's and she's doing the interview. I don't know if you've seen it. And see if she's walking. As Sha'Carri's doing the interview, Shelly Ann is walking behind her. But the thing is, all she did was just look up at the screen.
Right. So
it's kind of like they're saying she threw shade. Literally, if you could watch the screen now, all she does is walks by and just casually, like a little bit of a smirk.
I'm sure. I mean, I'd be smirking too.
She didn't nod her head. She didn't say anything. So it's kind of like,
I would definitely be laughing if I was those girls.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's probably how I would have did it too.
Sure.
Just subliminally walk by, like, hey, you see me?
Right.
And that's it. Like, see?
Right. Like,
both of them are just,
They were smiling.
But it's not even, I don't look at that as shade. It's just kind of like, okay, like, look what happened.
I can see a dirty eye or shaking their head or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't put their hands up. They didn't make any gestures. It's just kind of like,
So Alien Barbs, Weekend Service, California, that's not a problem. Just call or text 727-389-3220. The girls will be happy to take care of you. All you have to do is fill out the new patient paperwork, You can see our medical provider via FaceTime or Skype, via telemedicine, and you'll be good to go, okay? All right, so next one. Let's talk about this one. It's another big one. Pro bodybuilder Alena Kosinová passes away, and this has been shattering, right? Or it should be eye-opening to the fitness industry and the bodybuilding industry in itself. Now, we don't talk about all these different things out here, but there are some different things that need to be brought up. And at that point, this death is just one part of many deaths that have happened because of overuse of medications that are being recommended, or in the terms of some of these girls saying, prescribed by their coach. And I'm not throwing shade at her coach or any other coaches out there, but let's bring to light some of the different things that we've seen protocol-wise. Now, some of these girls have went on record by saying that they're taking a number of different diuretics at one different time because that's what they were prescribed by their coach.
For prolonged periods of time, too.
Prolonged periods of time. And you're talking about some serious doses.
I'm getting a lot of messages, a lot of stuff about these protocols. I mean, I've known athletes that have had these coaches. There's been like 4 or 5 athletes, bodybuilders, passed in the past couple weeks. And not in a couple weeks, couple months, I should say.
And over the years, I mean, let's talk about all the different people.
It's all, not all the time, but all the ones I hear is diuretics. It's always around the show or right after the show.
You know,
prolonged diuretic use. It's not because they're on HRT. It's not because they're this. It's because they're taking, like, you know, like John said, 3 or 4 different diuretics
at one time.
I mean, they're taking
and at heavy doses.
Aldactone, one of the coach's protocol. I'm not going to say who he is. You guys can probably figure it out. One of the coach's protocols, 30 days out, he has them start taking Aldactone.
Right.
So for 30 days, they're taking Aldactone. Aldactone is like, I mean, I've heard of like maybe a day or two, like close to the show or whatever. And then halfway through that, now we're throwing in Diazepam.
Medically, like maybe.
And then after that, now we're throwing in Lasix.
Yeah, I mean.
So it's like, and the thing is like when you're taking that, and then now we're not drinking any water as we're doing all that. So it's kind of like, that causes acute damage. People don't realize severe dehydration, the kidneys and the liver, like one of the main problems of that is dehydration. Like when people have dehydration, it's like kidney, liver, kidney, it's always dehydration. So when you're having like, when you take small amounts of Aldactone or Letrozole or strong Lasix stuff, you're causing acute damage to your kidneys like every single time. So it's like after a while, it's just like...
It's bad, dude.
And then once the show's over, then their body goes into reaction, and that's when they usually pass away, like before.
So, yeah, like diuretics should only be used in certain medical circumstances, right? Diuretics should be definitely a no-no. That's for damn sure. And using for long periods of time at heavy doses, right? And I'm not even talking about the bodybuilding world. I'm talking about in real life, because in real life, some of these people are going to die, like she did, right? The other thing is that they're not going to die, but you just took them 20 or 30 years off their life.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's not, now you're in a long-term like death sentence, because it's going to do really bad damage, and you're going to be in stage 3 or stage 4 of kidney failure. And at that point, you're not going to want that, you know. And it's like, you know, you're aging yourself internally light years.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
That's why now, I mean, not now, but in the past, this time period, you see a lot of bodybuilders from the 90s are passing away.
Kidneys.
Like a lot of the mass monsters, the big, huge monsters from the 90s,
Phil
because
Herndon,
of the orals.
man.
Yes, because of the orals. But nowadays, we could Google search, okay, if I'm going to take this tablet, what is this tablet and what are the dangers of it? So you could look it up. Back then, it was just like, oh, you see a guy in the gym, I want to get big, take this.
Yeah.
They don't know how much to take. They're not telling anybody to take. There's no forums. There's no people they can call.
Right.
You know, they have to go to the library and like spend 2 hours to find like a paragraph that doesn't even give them the information they need.
Yeah, just have
so it's like, yeah, I mean, that's another reason why injectables are so much better than orals. These orals back then,
I mean,
a lot of these guys are having these problems from these tablets.
You know, this is where blood work really comes into play too, guys. Like, really knowing what blood work is. Now, I get a lot of different competitors that come through Titan Medical Center, and over the years, thousands, not tens of thousands. And at that point, you know, every time we see in blood work, we pass that knowledge on to the patient, like what's going on. And some of the different responses are just, I'm not surprised anymore, like, of what happens to some of these guys. Because when we tell them, hey, listen, you're in like kidney failure situation, and we would recommend that you probably stop everything. Well, I'm going to ask my coach. Like, that's the response. Like, listen, you're having a medical doctor, a medical professional tell you, hey, listen, there's some serious issues here, and you should go get checked out. Well, I'm going to go talk to my coach. It shouldn't even be a response like that. Like, oh, really? And can you send me a copy of this? And I'm going to go to the hospital if I need to do it, or follow up to a specialist like nephrology. I mean, that's who deals with kidneys. And I've seen a number of different people dealing with this right now that are alive. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. So, guys, just before you guys do anything, right, and you're thinking about doing something outside the medical realm, which I would not recommend in any way, shape, or form, at that point, you guys need to at least keep track of blood work and make sure that you guys are healthy on the inside and make smart decisions about what you're going to take. Yeah,
don't self-diagnose. Those days are over, guys. Those days are over of, I have a headache and I have oily skin. Let me Google search this and take this. Like, you guys are not educated. I shouldn't say you aren't educated. But ask your doctor, like someone who's actually, a doctor. Coaches just put that little disclaimer. They think that's like, okay, I can get away with anything now. Yeah. As long as I say I'm not responsible for any whatever, I could tell you to take 5 times the normal dose of diuretics, 3 different diuretics, no water, and 2 hours of cardio every day. And I've heard stories of, just the other day I was hearing someone say that when she was urinating, her urine was brown because of all the damage or whatever. And then she asked the coach, she told the coach, hey, my urine is brown. What's happening? I think I need to go to the doctor. Her coach said, welcome to pro level conditioning.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's scary, guys.
That's kind of crazy. I was just literally just seeing this the other day. So, or hearing this the other day. So, I mean, if you have that mentality, if you have a coach that has that mentality, and then once you tell an athlete that, like, if I'm an athlete and I look up to this pro coach, I've been looking up to this pro coach for 10 years. He's like, his word is like the Bible. Like, I'm going to listen to everything he says or she says. Now, all of a sudden I get with this coach. It's like, okay, you produced just a random number. You produced 10 Miss Olympians. So now it's like, I know my doctor says this, but this is the guy that gets the girls the Olympia.
Gosh.
So who are you going to go,
I mean, listen, it only takes that one person. That could be you that dies.
I feel like
1 out of 10 ain't bad, right?
I feel like there has to
10%.
be a medium. You can't go to a doctor who has no clue about bodybuilding, and you can't go to your coach who may think he knows everything about the medical field. I feel like you have to go somewhere in between where the doctor has somewhat type of knowledge of your,
absolutely,
not just. I mean, I've gone to doctors before. I've heard of doctors that don't even know some of the stuff that you tell them.
Of course not.
Like, especially if it turns into like hormonal stuff or bodybuilding type of supplementation, they're like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, what are you talking about? Like, I'm educating you about this,
right?
And you're the guy in the in the doctor's doctor's
not
stuff.
Lab coat.
So
they have the degree. It's it's crazy. And he's right. And they don't want to. Some of these people, listen, medical doctors are not trained in some of these different things. Yeah. And that's not their fault, right? That's not what they go to medical school, and that's not what medical school teaches them. So they only know what they've been taught. And they don't dib and dab outside. I mean, I know there are some doctors out there that have. But at that point, basically, they keep it to their lane, right?
You got to tell your doctor everything.
You got to know, right? But, listen, with all honesty out there and transparency, whatever you tell your doctor, right, your doctor's putting it into a progress note. So at that point, with a progress note, it's always going to be on file. And that's to cover their ass. That's a liability thing. So if he tells you to take this medication for 60 days and you take other medications, it's going to be like, all right, listen, that wasn't the problem of why you had this issue in most cases. Yeah,
because a lot of times with bodybuilding or just in terms of the sport, like, no one actually knows what the other person is taking unless they're administering to them.
Yeah.
Like, you always hear back in the day, how much did you guys take? Or how much did they take? This and that. That's why you have to be honest with your doctors and coaches.
Yeah.
If you're taking twice the normal amount you should be, and your coach tells you, whatever, like, you have to tell your coach, you have to tell your doctor exactly the milligrams. Yeah. Don't just say I'm taking this, because that makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
Don't just say what you're taking. Like, a lot of times people say, I'm taking this, this, and this, but they won't give the doses.
Yeah.
Because they're scared.
Of course.
In the bodybuilding community, it's like a lot of us are scared to tell someone something because we know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell this person I'm taking, I've heard guys say, I'm taking 2,000 milligrams of testosterone. For what? Like, but I don't want to tell him, because if I tell him, he's going to say only take 1,000 or only take 500.
Right.
So, I mean, you guys just
he's
be
going to
honest
give away his protocol. Like, come on, man.
Protocol is eat, train, and sleep.
For real. I mean, these things are only going to take you so far. And dosages only need to go up so high in certain things. Right?
And I've experimented, too. I've experimented with high dose, low dose to see how the difference. Doesn't matter what it is, unless it's like a stimulant, and that's just not a good. It's not a good feeling when you have too much stimulant. But unless it's a stimulant, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Before I was with Titan, I've run testosterone real high just to see because that's what they tell you to do.
Of course.
I come to Titan, I'm like, wait a minute, I only need 200 milligrams a week, and I still feel big, and my stomach's flatter, and I feel great. And so it's like, but if I talk to everyone else, more.
Yeah.
And what happens is you take more, now you have more estrogen, now you have more water, so you got to take this and this and this as directed.
Yeah, it's
take
a lot
it
more
as
problems that
directed,
can
guys.
happen for sure. And then you're putting more damage and more stress on the body too, guys. This is, bodybuilding in the fitness industry is about, or it should be about, health.
Yeah, right? It's
That's what we're supposed to be projecting out there. We're supposed to be projecting health. So how are we projecting health when we're not healthy ourselves, or we're doing serious damage or abuse to drugs?
That's a good point.
Because
Very good point.
we're talking about drugs. Okay, let's put that on the table. I talked about my son the other day. I said, there's illicit drugs and there's illegal drugs, or there's legal drugs, right? There's illegal and legal. Now, just because something's legal doesn't mean that it cannot be abused, and it can't do harm. Now, illegal drugs usually do harm to people. We're talking like cocaine, morphine, fentanyl. These usually kill people or put people in bad states of mind, right, and do bad things. But with legal drugs, right, you can still abuse them and do a lot of damage to yourself and possibly others, right? It just depends on what the drugs
You
are.
go drink a whole bottle of Benadryl and do damage to yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need any type of prescription for that.
So, I mean, that's just one thing to put on the table. Just to understand that just because they're legal drugs doesn't mean they can't do damage or harm to you too as well.
Foods too. Just because food is sold at the store doesn't mean
dude,
it
that's
doesn't
a whole
have chemicals and wood dye in it that can kill you.
Dude, I mean, some of the different things that are out there that are bad for you and that are on these labels, and because they're in a smaller percentage pass by, it's horrible.
See, he got me. I give you credit. He got me on more of a natural sugars because I was like a Splenda. I mean, I still do my Splenda here and there, but I was a Splenda, Gatorade 0.00000. He got me on. You got me on more of a cane sugar thing. So now it's like, okay, honey, bananas. I get most of my sugars from fruits now.
That's awesome.
But even my juices and stuff, I make my juices. I blend my strawberry. Just stay away from that sugar.
Yeah.
Because I was going through like probably 20, 30 packets of Splenda every day for years.
Wow.
Every day.
That's a lot.
Because you think I'm putting 5 on my coffee twice a day. Ooh. I'm putting 2 in my. I even put it in my food, my steak and rice. That gives the beef just a little bit of sweetness, like Chinese food. I put it all over that, like.
Okay, all right.
Natural.
So let's talk about some of these other things up there. Now, Hulk Squad had a good question earlier. So his question was, when it comes to TRT, does your body get stagnant on testosterone to the point where you should change compounds? Esters maybe, right? That's what we were talking about this. Now, the most commonly prescribed ester is cypionate, right? And this is usually prescribed by all medical physicians out there because it's the middle of the road ester, okay? Now, when we talk about different esters, there's 3 different esters. There's more than 3, but only 3 legal in the United States right now currently. In Europe or Mexico or stuff like that, you can get a 4th one. But the 3, let's talk about the 3 that are legal here in the United States. Propionate, cypionate, and enanthate, right? So we're talking about a fast-acting ester, and then we're talking about a middle-of-the-road ester with cypionate, and then a longer ester, possibly the enanthate. Not much, but a little bit longer lasting. Now, you might feel different on these esters in your testosterone. Whereas propionate's a fast-acting ester, you might get feeling good real quick because what it does is boosts up those levels, and then it starts dropping down after 48 hours, right? So at that point, you could feel a burst. Cypionate's, like I said, it's middle of the road. It's like 3 to 5 days. Boom, you should be feeling good. And then keeping your dose level should keep you there. Enanthate, it might be in your system a little bit longer, so you might overlap on your injections and you might feel a little bit better or stronger. That's what the common response is from people that do take it with us. The other thing is that we offer blends of testosterone too. So if you're on just regular cypionate or regular enanthate, you can obviously get a cypionate propionate in most circumstances, or even a tri-blend that has cypionate, propionate, and enanthate. So at that point, you guys can pick these different blends or esters, and it's not something you have to change every month, but you can change every couple months. Got it. So we got a 9-minute warning, guys. 9-minute warning. All right. So any other questions down there real quick, Art? Too many bad coaches out there that combined high potassium foods last week while cutting sodium and big pharma diuretics. Just crazy. It's for sure. All right. So John.
Stevia. Someone's asking about stevia. I would stay. I mean, if you have
Stay
to,
away from
yeah,
it.
but I would just stay away from artificial sweeteners altogether.
Dude, stay away
Use
from
a little bit of honey if you have to. I mean, that'd be better.
That's the best way, guys.
Yeah.
Like Drew, like he's even better than me at that, right? I look at cane sugar, and no sugar is good for you guys. But you know, when we started talking about these other substitutes and processed sugars and stuff like that, it's way better.
It's a good way to add calories to your food too. If you guys are trying to gain weight, just put a little bit of honey over your beef, rice, steak, rice, whatever. It's a little bit of honey on it. It's a little bit. Add it to each meal.
That's awesome. All right, so next one from Black Tiger Strength 66. John, does a tri-immunity supposed to sting when you inject it? So, answers to that, it might feel a little sting when you inject it. There's two reasons why. The first one is that it's cold, and usually the viscosity thickens and something like that when it's cold. So you can let it sit out for a couple minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, and it might feel a little bit better. But on this one, I'm not going to lie. It's got 3 main components in it: glutathione, vitamin C, and zinc. All 3 of those, you could possibly feel a little sting, and that's a super concentrated shot, and that's why you probably feel a little sting in there.
But when you feel this thing, it's good. It means it's actually working. It's kind of, it's not.
Going in, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a situation where like, oh, it's stinging. Did I hit something? Is it infected? Like the sting is normal. So when you get that sting, don't think, oh, I did something went wrong. Just wait a little bit. It goes away in 20 seconds.
It should go away very shortly. But I understand that comfortability level in the beginning. So if you really want to take the edge off to a certain degree, I'd order like a B12 or Titan Complete or Tighten Up, whatever it is, right? And that bottle will last you like 2 months if you're using it with the Tri-Immune, because you only have to inject like maybe like 30 units in there, just enough, right? And at that point, it will take some of the edge off that injection.
Dwayne Day, yes, shout out. The results are crazy.
I didn't get to see it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
I didn't get to see it. You seen it?
I saw results of him and his girl, or him and his wife. Yeah, look good.
Oh, I've not seen it yet, Dwayne. I'm going to check it out after this. I do a lot of functional fitness style workouts. Would I benefit if I added more building workout? Wait, if I add more bodybuilding workouts on my HRT, probably. You know, you don't have to go heavy or crazy or anything like that. But you know, I mean, functional fitness style workouts. I mean, that can mean a lot of different things, right? But it's like box jumping and like stuff like that. Like that'll be good. But if you want to put on more quality lean mass or tissue, probably the fastest. It would probably be like workouts like you know, like with weights or you know, something like that. So you're doing weightlifting and.
I would look at are you looking at like performance training, functional, or like the mirror? Like you want to change how you look or change how you perform?
Yeah.
Because if it's a performance thing, the bodybuilding stuff might slow you down.
Yeah.
But if it's somewhere where you want to change the mirror, you might not even need that functional fitness style workout.
And some guy said, yes, master, please tell your shoe size and sock color, please. Man, you should have left them on there, man. Come on, man.
That's a big foot. That's a big foot right there.
Come on, man.
Big foot.
Okay, we're on block.
As long as you don't say that, dog. You want to send us some shoes? Philly one, you want to send us some shoes?
Yeah, those foot guys are.
Come on,
Yeah,
man. Come on. Send us a pair of shoes. We'll try them on
He
for you.
said, damn, masters, please show your soaked feet up.
Oh, my God.
And take off your shoe and show me your feet, socks.
Oh, my
master,
God.
please, master. You got a foot
Jeez,
guy on
we got a
there.
fetish guy. It's all right. It's all right. At least you're not hurting nobody. You just want socks and shoes.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, John and Drew, what'd y'all think? I didn't get to see the new picture. We're going to see it. Joe Anthony, thank you. All right, so next one is OnlyFans reverses the sexual explicit content after backlash from users. They caved.
They realized, they said, wait a minute.
Dude,
Billions?
They're
Billions.
like, uh-oh. Like, we're valuation was like over a couple billion or $1 billion.
Yeah,
If we lose
billions.
these guys, it might go to $500 million. You know what? Let's keep these guys in
It's
here.
crazy. When I looked it up, OnlyFans made as much as, like, the calendar year.
Yeah.
They made as much as Subway,
Oh, wow.
Wendy's,
All the franchises, right?
Burger King, like all these just random places. I mean, McDonald's made like 14 billion or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
McDonald's ain't nothing.
But I mean, just to think that they're up there competing with like fast food, Papa John's,
I believe
places
it.
it's like global,
I believe it.
and that's crazy.
I believe it.
I'm not gonna say I knew it wasn't gonna last, but it's like, I mean, if that were me, if I was the owner or whatever,
You know what,
I'd
though?
be like, okay, well, I didn't realize it was this much.
This was not calculated properly, and let me tell you why. They shot themselves in the foot tremendously with this because they made a public release of this, and what happened was all these content creators, they ain't going to wait till October 1st or December or whenever they're going to put this ban into play. They're going to be proactive because that's their money. So, and then it also gives other ideas for other places to open up, right? They can just open this up, take everybody in, and boom, they're off and running. And at that point, what some of these content creators did was they started racing some of the content because they knew the ban was coming. So they just started being proactive about it. And then they started advertising in their OnlyFans where they were going.
Yeah.
So they moved people over.
In other words, just funnel it right. Just be like, hey, I'm going.
Yeah.
Meet me at this site. Okay, boom.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, in a proper play of this, if the bankers were really on their case, like J.P. Morgan, there were some big ones involved with this, and they won't comment on this, but you should have went to them beforehand and said, listen, this is what we made this year. If we have our estimates correctly, this is how many users we're going to lose, and this is the revenue chunk that's going to be taken out of that money. Bankers, sorry guys, I deal with a lot of bankers. They're worried about the money. That's when things bend a little bit, right? And that's exactly what happened here. I guarantee it. They got such a backlash.
They were like, oh,
they've lost so many different subscribers, right? Like, oh man, if all this ain't gonna be worth this, we're gonna start losing money out of our own pockets, and they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna do everything they possibly can to infuse it back in there to try to bring it back up. But they shot themselves in the foot many times over on this one, and I think that it's gonna reflect here in the next couple of years because people are gonna come out with new sites, which people are probably not trying to knock them off anyway. Yeah. But this just gives another reason for people to leave. And at that point, you know, do their own thing and think about this in the future that any time or any platform they're on can be shut down at any minute or they can be banned.
Yeah, so don't throw all your eggs in there.
No, definitely not. Set yourself, guys, set yourselves up. All right.
We got a 2-minute warning. Foot guy came back, by the way.
And your reworn smelly dress socks that have the stanky and scented smell.
You got a foot guy on
This
here.
guy's at least giving us some entertainment. I say, as long as he's not being disrespectful, it's fine. You guys are right about MK67. You want
Please show your socked feet in that gray shirt.
Look at you, Drew.
Oh, man. In the gray shirt.
In the gray shirt, yeah, right?
Drew always gets all these fetishes,
We got
man.
some
I ain't gonna
we got
lie.
some feet guys on here.
Drew's, he gets...
And it's crazy. It's just so fitting. We're sitting there talking about OnlyFans. We're talking about OnlyFans. Next thing you know, he's like, hey, show you.
Oh,
hey,
my
maybe
God.
maybe the feet guys.
We need to start like a Titan OnlyFans.
Yeah, right?
Only feet.
Only feet,
Only
right.
feet, yeah, right.
All right, so I've done it. Wait, so I just got the trifecta. Looking forward to starting it. Man, Daniel G, that's a great combination. ECA Stack Plus, Hercules Potion, Titan Complete. They're going to do great together, work synergistically together, and give you a lot of great benefits and a lot of great results, hopefully. I've done it, the do it myself ECA, so looking forward to trying this version. This is going to be a game changer for you. Before you had to put this stuff together and you were getting cold medicine in this, dude, it's gonna be a lot better. I promise you, Daniel G. And if it's not, you let me know, okay?
It's a game changer.
It's gonna be a game changer, dude.
And that feeling you have when you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this, you're not using just the ingredients; it's extra stuff.
Yeah.
You're using antihistamine, whatever type. You'll feel so much better.
Hey, Uptown, you want to see his feet? You need to tip the badge at least $10 right now.
Yeah, right?
Badge that thing. Come on. We'll let you know how smelly it is. Say, John, I used Iron Man Cupid's Candy for the same time I had a ball on my anniversary.
Nice.
Awesome. Awesome. So Iron Man and Cupid's Candy, guys, are libido enhancers. They work in a lot of different ways where Iron Man is total blood flow, getting you up and staying like Iron Man all night. And then Cupid's Candy is going to involve vascular. It's going to increase the nervous system libido as well, so brain and blood flow. So at that point, these are a great combination. Use them together. You were probably the man all night.
Perfect anniversary thing.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
like little Valentine's Day, anniversary, birthdays.
That's a good one, man. We should start telling a lot of people out there, like, hey, listen, you want the ultimate anniversary gift for your significant other? This is the combination to try.
Or what if we did like a giveaway where we did like a couples anniversary? They do something and we give them like a couples like a Titan weekend package where they could just both go crazy.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
We gotta go, guys. I gotta cut everything off.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. John, Drew, Titan Lifestyle Fridays, 2 p.m. every Friday. We'll see you then. Thank you guys for all the support.